Okay, this is the last review before the MOS exam we're about to take. Let's start with question 1. It calls for inserting a new row directly below row 1. And what this question does, it reminds you that by default, a new row is inserted above the row that you select. So to insert a row below row 1, you actually have to insert it above row 2, which we select here. Go to Insert, and then Insert Sheet Rows. Okay, this is question 1. For question 2, something you are well familiar with, cell styles. Here's our range here. And by the way, this department 203 stayed where it was in the beginning in B1. So we're going to select A1, L1, go to cell styles, and find the 60% accent 5. In question 3, we're going to modify the cell format and select the format which will display any date in this manner. So the range is C to L2. We will turn it into date, and then 14th of March 2012. So for those who forgot, this is not the date it will display. This simply denotes the type of display. Okay. So we're selecting this range, go into the number format options, go into date, and then looking, I hope you guys can see this, looking for this format, and that's how these cells are now formatted to display any date in this manner right here. Next question just is an exercise in adding data. So we have rep ID for A2 and rep name for B2. All right. You'll have to type this, but I'm holding a microphone in my hand, so I'd rather do the copy and paste. Okay, in the next question, we're just inserting the dates. We have certain cell opening dates, and as usual, I always ask you to review the data, and it should make sense to you. So let's just do this, and then insert the dates and talk about what we have there in the range. Here I'll have to put down my microphone, I guess. So what we're looking at is that after each date and before the next date, a certain number of properties was sold and recorded. So a high number of properties is a good thing, so a high number, and a small number is not such a good thing. Okay, the next question calls for typing number of properties sold weekly in cell B1. which we will do right now. Okay, that was the wrong cell coordinate. This is where this is gonna go. Okay, this was question 6. Okay. Question 7 is set the alignment to horizontal left indent with number of indents set to 2. Okay, so B3, B15. Alignment, horizontal, left indent, we go up by 2. Okay. We did not include the column width here, which would actually be helpful. So let's make it 13. Okay. Okay. Question 8. Should put it dot here. Apply conditional formatting to the cell range C3L15 by using color scale blue, white, red. And then adjust the formatting rule, we talked about it, by changing the midpoint to the 60th percentile and the maximum number to 25. Okay, we just talked about what this means. These are the properties sold within a time period. Going to conditional formatting and to color scales. This is the scale we want. And at first, the colors are applied according to the default rule. There, so it makes sense that the red alerts are shown for very small numbers of properties sold. And then we're going to modify the conditioning rule. The formatting rule, that is. It doesn't see the formatting rule right now. I need to select the range again. It doesn't know what's at work at the moment. Okay. Double click on this, and what we have right now is red for the lowest values, white for the 50th percentile. And this is another term which we briefly discussed when I was talking about all these statistics terms that may not really be familiar to you. I'll just display the definition for a short period of time, and then we'll just talk about it in class if we can. So, is a measure used in statistics indicating the value below which a given percentage of observations in a group of observations fall. You may have heard this when they measured your height, for example. If you're told that you're in the 90th percentile, that means 90% of people of your age are shorter than you. So here we have a default value of 50, which makes perfect sense. But just for the purpose of practicing, we'll change it to 60. And also, and the max, whatever could be found there, should be a number, which is what the task calls for. And the maximum number is 25, which we're going to type here. And this is it. Apply and OK. Next question is about setting the print area. We just talked about it. We have the range A1, L20. That's what we're going to select. L20. Okay. Page layout, print area, and this says set print area, which is exactly what we have done. Next part of this is make sure the grid lines are printed, which we're going to select right now. Grid lines over here. Print. Okay, sluggish. Next, we're going to hide columns and rows. Okay, we need to hide column A, and then rows 16 to 19. I just inserted the department manager name to comply with this question. So we're gonna hide. I just right-clicked on column A, clicked hide, and then rows 16 through 19. Also right-click and hide. Okay, next we're going to insert this picture. San Francisco Victorian houses. I just created it because I didn't have anything else. On the bottom of the sheet content. So we're gonna click on the sheet on the bottom somewhere. Okay. So we're going to insert illustrations, go to pictures. I have the path already in my clipboard just to speed things up. It's gonna be really slow here, unfortunately. And this is the file. JPEG, we talked many times about file extensions. That's what we're looking for. This is the picture. Click on insert, and here it is, a little large, but beautiful. Okay. Very Victorian. Okay, next we crop as question 12. Crop to 1:1 aspect ratio. We talked about cropping in the very beginning of the course, especially when we talked about the weekly notes. So I'm gonna click on it. Oh, it's already selected. Crop aspect ratio, and then 1:1. Okay. Okay, before we move on, just a quick look at the definition. The aspect ratio of an image describes the proportional relationship between its width and its height, just like on a monitor. It's commonly expressed as two numbers separated by a colon. In our case, it's 1 and 1. Okay, next we're going to continue with crop and crop it to shape, which is in this case a regular pentagon. Penta obviously means 5, as you all know. So what we've done here is changed the shape of this picture. Okay, next question is about named ranges. We've practiced before. We're gonna do it slightly differently this time. If you remember, usually when we name the range, we've used the name box over here. Just typed it in. In this case, we'll go to formulas and do the define name version of this. So I'll just paste it there with the underscore, because even in this day and age, for named ranges, Windows cannot tolerate a space here, just like it was in the good old DOS days. Anyway, we have this definition now. So just click OK, and this is it. You can see that in the name box we have what we expect to see. Properties sold. Okay. Question 14. Apply neutral cell style to B2L2. Okay. B2L2. Neutral. And then save. It's time to save this. Okay, next question. Switch to practice worksheet. Add a new column on the right side of column B. The word sales should remain in B1. Okay. So just another reminder of the default insertion rules. Here we need to insert the column on the right side of B, but what will happen in reality, there will be a new one to the left side of C, which will do what we want to do. So Home tab, insert, and insert sheet columns. Okay, let me add what we had here. Rep name, and we had rep ID as well. Okay. And the word sales did indeed stay in B1. Okay, next. Apply sales style 60% accent 6 to A1J1. Okay. 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 %, accent 6. Okay. Next. Number format. D3J15 to display one decimal after the decimal point. Okay. D3J15. So this is where we go to increase decimal after the decimal point after under the number group, in the number group. Okay, next task is another reminder of how the autofill works. Hope these quotation marks will not throw you off. These are just trying to be grammatically correct. These shouldn't really be here because they will not be used in the cells. So D2J2 will need to have the numbered headers, and that's something we've done lots of times in class. And we just have this increment now, and the design intent knows what we want here. Okay, I'll just save it. Add a column header, previous employer. To cell C2, that's where I should have put it. Okay. And then we'll have Keller. Williams. Here I quit putting the quotation marks just to make sure that there is no misunderstanding on the part of the students as to what to type. And this one. Okay. Actually, I messed it up. They should have gone here. Let me correct this. Okay, and now we're gonna do the autofill that you're well familiar with. Okay. More about data entry, something you're well familiar with. Okay. Grammar, spelling. Okay, selecting. This was question 19. Correct. Then modify text in B1 to display time periods per sales rep. I'm going to put this in B1. Okay. Save this. And last but not least for this exercise, apply the 3 symbol uncircled icon set to the range D3, J15. Okay. Modify the formatting rule by reversing the icon order and setting the green icon to be a number and to be less than 50. The yellow icon also to be a number and to be greater than or equal to 50. And the red icon to be greater than or equal to 70. It will also be a number. So in this case, since we examined the data, longer times are not desirable. It's not something that's good. That's why we have the reverse order here. This is the reversing order for icons. So we're going to grab our range and go to conditional formatting, icon sets, something we've done before. You've seen this before. And we're going to click. You're going to see the tips here, the tooltips, 3 symbols uncircled. That's what we're going to use, and you know well how this works because we use this in class. However, by default, the longer times are celebrated because they are higher numbers. In our context, it's not what we want. We want the properties to sell sooner, not later, so we need to reverse the icon order. Okay, as usual, this has to be, the range has to remain selected. And then we're gonna go and to rule manager and manage the rules. Okay. So first thing we're gonna do is reverse the icon order. Once again, we want shorter times for property sales. And then now that I just clicked on it, then we're gonna have to adjust the actual numbers here under value. Okay, so the red icon greater than or equal to 70, and it should be a number. So whatever is longer than 70 days, for example, staying on the market, is not what we want. So 70 here for the red one, and it's a number. Reset here. Okay. Also, a reminder of what we're looking at. I'm not sure how legible this is. Greater than or equal to. This sign over here. That's what we're looking at in this dialog box. Okay. So for the yellow, we're setting it to be a number as well, and we have 50. Okay, over here. Okay, and what's remaining now for the green is less than 50. Okay. Apply and say OK. And now we are only unhappy with the longer times, as you can see. Something like this. Okay, let's stop here. I have 25, almost 26 minutes on the counter here already.